records. So Shahina, now our next chapter is algebraic equations and simple inequalities. Okay, so in the previous chapter, chapter 1, it was about fundamental algebra. Now quickly, if you just close your eyes and try to remember what we learned in the previous chapter. Number 1, using variables, right? And the meaning of algebraic words like the sum of two things, the difference of two things, subtracting something from something, the product of two different expressions, right? How to simplify algebraic expressions and how to add algebraic fractions, right? This kind of things, okay? Now, as you know, in math, equations are the most important things. In math, we need to know how to solve equations. So now we will start, our first step is the simplest equations, linear equations. So this topic is all about algebraic equations and simple inequalities. Inequalities, not much, just introduction, but we will focus on algebraic equations, okay? What are we going to learn here in this chapter? So we are going to learn, number 1, how to solve simple algebraic equations, okay? And also we will learn how to construct simple linear equations from given situations and solve these equations. If you're given a problem, for example, Shahina has some dollars and her sister has $5 less than Shahina, and their total money is $10, how much each girl has, for example. This kind of equations, okay? And solve simple inequalities. Especially, I mean, two important things. Number 1 is we will learn how to solve algebraic equations. That is the most important topic here, okay? So now, introduction. If you have ever seen this, that is just one formula. In a lot of physics books, you will see this. That is energy formula, E equals mc squared. But of course, you don't have to understand this. That is very important formula. Such formula we have a lot, okay? So now, what is E? Energy. M is mass. C is what is the speed of the light? Something. To calculate the amount of energy released when a quantity of matter is destroyed. The idea has been used by scientists to develop the atomic bomb. An atomic explosion produces a mushroom-shaped cloud which may look majestic, but is actually very destructive and harmful. It's a kind of introduction. That means that in science, we are going to use a lot of formulas, a lot of equations. So every student who is studying computer science or any engineering field or mathematics, we should be very comfortable with solving equations, okay? So we will start with this, open sentences. Shahina, can you read it?
Consider the following sentences and state whether each of them is true or false.
Okay, we are saying that consider the following sentences, right? Okay, now we have to state whether they are true or false. Can you read the first one?
9 is greater than 7.
So, is it true or false?
It's true.
Okay, that is true. I can say it is true or false, right? Second one.
7 is a factor of 49.
Is it true?
Yes.
Yes, because 49 is divided by 7, it is 7. Whole number, that means the factor. So this is also true. Next.
7 plus 5 equals 13.
True or false?
False.
It is false. Very good. Next question.
The capital city of Uzbekistan, Samarkand.
Is it true or false?
False.
False. What is the capital city of Uzbekistan?
Tashkent.
Very good. Actually, these sentences, when I just read this, you can say it is true or false, right? So that's all. Actually, in math, we call this kind of sentences closed sentences. Okay, we have nothing to do with this because they are either true or false. Now, read this question. E. Read it. How do you read this?
I don't know how to read the thing in the box.
7 plus square, some kind of symbol, equals 13.
Okay.
Now, if I ask a question, is it true or false?
I mean, it could be any number though.
So now for this, we cannot say it is true or false, right? Because to say that it's true or false, it depends on the value of this thing, right? If I substitute here for, let's say, if I say, let's say this something is equal to 6, and substitute here 7 plus 6 equals 13. This is true. Now, how about if I put another value? Let's say this thing equals 10. Now, if you substitute for this, what do we have here? 7 plus 10 is equal to, on the right-hand side, 13. Is it true or false?
False.
False. That means that for this sentence to be true or false, it depends on the value of this thing, right? Right. So actually in math now we are going to call this unknown, because I don't know what is the value of this thing. So such is one example for open sentence, because it depends on this. If you put a right number here, it is true. Otherwise, it is false. So that's an open sentence. Read the second F.
3 is a factor of triangle.
So is it true or false?
It's unknown.
Again, we don't know, right? It is because to say true or false, we need to know the value of this thing. Here we have unknown. Okay. Also, that is open sentence, because if you put something here like 6, it is true. 9, it is true. If you substitute 10, 3 is not a factor of 10. That is false. Another question here, Phi is the capital of Thailand. So what is Phi? The question I'm asking you, right? What is Phi? I don't know. So that's why we call this unknown. It is true or not. It depends on what I put here, what I actually replace this Phi with. For example, if I write here this Phi, or this Phi means it is Bangkok. What is Bangkok? Bangkok is the capital of Thailand. That is true. How about instead of this Phi, if I write here Tashkent?
That's false.
That would be false, right? As you see here, to be true or false for this sentence is totally depends on the value of this unknown. Okay, so that is one example for equation. Also equation, for example, if I say 2x plus 1 equals 5. If I say this thing equals this, is it true or not?
2 times plus 1.
You say that you don't know, right? Now you say that, Mr. Qasim, okay, tell me what is the value of this x? If I tell you this x, then you can say that it is true or not, or false. That is one mathematical sentence. As you see here, that is also open sentence. Simply is a kind of equation. So we are going to deal with this kind of problems, okay? So an open mathematical sentence which contains an equal sign is called an equation. Okay, an open mathematical sentence which contains an equal sign. Now we know what is sentence, right? So if it has equal sign, we just call this equation. For example, x minus 5 equals 7. I can say it is true or false. Totally depends on the value of x, right? So that is equation. 2 times x plus 7 equals 26. That is also equation. Because now if I say that this thing equals this, Shahina, is it true or false? What can you say? You say that I don't know, right? It depends on, okay, tell me what is the value of x? Then I tell you it is true or false. If you put suitable value here, it may be true, but for a lot of numbers, it may not be true. So the question is, what makes this sentence true? We will try to answer this question. That means that I need to search a suitable value for x. When I substitute here, it should be true. For example, let's say x equals 8.5. Not 8.5, 9.5, let's say. Now if you substitute here, 2 times 9.5 plus 7 equals 26. Now if I ask you, Shahina, is it true or false? You can answer, right? 2 times 9.5, it is 19. 19 plus 7 is 26. On the right hand side, 26. Is 26 equal to 26?
Yes.
Yes. Then now you can say that it is true. So now that is true or false. We made the open sentence closed sentence now. That means that we found the solution of this equation. Another thing is here, x plus 5 is divided by 2 equals 3 times x minus 2. Also say equation, right? Because a sentence that has equal sign. And also x squared plus x equals 6, right? And also that is an equation, okay? So we will try to find the right answer. When we substitute for unknown, it must produce a correct sentence, okay? So to solve an equation means, what do we mean by solve the equation? It means that we need to find the value of the unknowns. Here x is unknown, x is unknown, x is unknown, right? Here x is unknown. In our previous slide, this thing, right, that is unknown, this triangle is unknown, this phi is unknown, right? So that means that we need to find the value of the unknown so that the equation becomes a true or correct sentence, okay? The value found is called the solution of the equation. So that thing means here, this 9.5, what is it? That makes this sentence correct, right? True. So we call this solution of this equation, okay? Anyway, this is just introduction. Now, Shahina, with you, we will start solving simple equations, okay? You don't have to solve anything. Here we have x plus 5 equals 11. A, what does it mean? What number plus 5 equals 11? It means this, right? So what is x then? What number plus 5 equals 11?
6.
6, very good. So the solution of this equation is 6, because if I substitute 6 for x, 6 plus 5 equals 11. How about question B? This means that what number minus 6 equals 14? What is x?
20.
20, right? Very good. Now for multiplication division, question A. So 3 times what number gives us 18?
3 times what number equals 18? 3 times 6.
6. That means that 6 is the solution of this equation is 6. Because if I substitute 6 for x, it makes this sentence a true sentence, right? Correct sentence. Now, how about here? What number is divided by 5 equals 7? 20 over 5, 4. No. 25 over 5, 5. No. How about 35 over 5? It is 7. Ah, that is correct. Then x equals 35, right? So that is 35. As you see here, always guessing this number, it's not easy. That's why now we are going to develop a technique, how we are going to solve this kind of equations, okay? So now solving simple equations. Maybe you know this, but now here we are talking about those techniques. We can use the idea of a balance to help us solve equations. It's like a scale, right? Here we have a balance, right? These are 2 pans, scale pans of this balance. Assume that here on the right hand side we have 3 blocks. Each block's weight is x, so that is x, 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 3x. On the right hand side we have 4 and x, that is 4 plus x, because we can add them together, right? 4 and x, that is 4 plus x. Now if I add 3 to both sides, for example, let's say I put here 3 kilos of something, 3 kilos of something. What happens to the scale? Nothing, right? Because we are putting the same weight to both sides. That means that if you are given an equation, if you add the same number to both sides, it does not change anything. That means that it does not change the solution of the equation. How about if I remove the same thing from both sides here? Here I'm removing x, right? Remove it, also x. Still, it will be balanced, right? That means that if you subtract the same number from both sides of the equation, it does not change the solution of the equation. And what will happen to the scales below if the weights of the contents of both sides are trebled or halved? Trebled means multiplied by 3. Both sides multiplied by 3. If I have 3 x's, if you multiply x's, how many x's will we have? 9 x's. On the right hand side, if you treble this, here we have 2, 2. How many 2's we have? 6, right? So still it will be balanced. And also if I divide both sides by 2, nothing changes. Still it will be balanced. That means that Shahina, these are very simple rules. We are given equation, right? And if you add the same number to both sides, if you subtract the same number from both sides, if you multiply both sides by the same number or divide by the same number, it doesn't change. It means that it produces equivalent equation. It doesn't change the solution of the equation. Now, if we solve this, for example, I know you know how to solve this, but here, what we are doing, we are trying to understand. X plus 3 equals 14. What does solving equation means? I need to leave this x alone on the left-hand side, right? So how can I eliminate this 3? So to eliminate this 3, it is added. I will do this operation. Here we have 14, right? Here we have minus 3, right? Can I do this? Subtracting the same thing from both sides, it doesn't change anything. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. X stays alone here. 14 minus 3, it is 11. So the solution of this equation is 11. Check it. 11 plus 3, 14. Is 14 equal to 14?
Yes.
Yes. That means that we got the solution of this equation. How about B? Y minus 5 equals 8. How can I eliminate this negative 5? It is subtracted, right? So I should do something opposite to subtraction. What is it? Addition. So if I add 5 to both sides of the equation, here we have 5, 8 plus 5, nothing changes. But now negative 5 plus 5, what is it?
0.
0. What is that here? Y alone. 8 plus 5?
13.
13. But of course, when you're solving this, Shahina, you should do this mentally, right? You don't have to write every step. I'm just explaining here, that's what. How about C? Here we have 5 times x equals 25. How can I eliminate this 5 from left-hand side? It is multiplied, right? So we should divide. Divide by 5, divide by 5. Let me just write this equal sign in the middle. Right? So now 5, we know the common factors cancel each other. X left here, 25 over 5 is 5. That is the solution of this equation. Now here, 5 times 5, 25. Is it correct? Yes. Then this is the solution of the equation. And how about the last one? 1 over 3 times y equals 4. How can I eliminate this 1 over 3? Or how can we have y alone on the left-hand side of the equation? What should I do here? Multiply by 3, right? So I do the same thing. 3 times 1 over 3y equals 3 times 4. As you see here, doing the same thing. So 3 times 1 over 3, what is it?
Wait, can you repeat that?
1, right? 3 times 1 over 3, it is 1. Dot, dot, dot. So here we have only y left. 3 times 4?
12.
12. Now check it here. What is 1/3 of 12? It is 4. That's correct.
Oh,
okay.
that's nice trick.
Okay.
But can't you just do like for number C, instead 5.5x equals 25? Can you just do like what you know, because 5 times 5 equals 25? Can't you just do that? Or
yes, but when you are doing 5 times 5, as I told you, that is just mental. We are just solving mentally, right? It's good, but mental solution may not work all the time. Because if these equations are a bit more complicated, mentally you cannot solve this. You have to just follow that fixed rules. So now we are trying to understand the rules, how to eliminate if something is added, how to eliminate if something is subtracted, right? How to eliminate if something is multiplied by the unknown, how to eliminate the number if the unknown is divided by something. So we are just doing the opposite operation. As you see here, if something is added, I'm subtracting. If something is subtracted, I'm adding here. If something is multiplied, I'm dividing here. If something is divided, I'm multiplying here. Right?
Yeah, I see.
Good. Now, Shahida, let's do a little bit different question. Here we have a 3x plus 2 equals 8, right? First, now you try to do mentally. First, we have to eliminate this 2, right? How can I eliminate this? I should do this one plus 2 minus 2 equals 8 minus 2. When I subtract this will disappear. Now next time we should do this mentally. I know that if I subtract it will be 0, so I don't have to write this, okay? But I'm doing the same thing, minus 2, minus 2. So what we have here is 3x. On the right hand side, 8 minus 2, it is 6. So now it is multiplied, right? How can I eliminate this 3 from here? 3x over 3, and here we have 6 over 3. Doing the same thing. 3 cancel each other. Here we have x left, 6 over 3, it is 2. So the solution of this equation is 2. Okay. Shahina, here you should learn how to do things step by step. Okay. Even if it's easy, try to practice this technique, because in a lot of exams in the future, if you take an exam, okay, or when things are more complicated, you have to read the solution step by step. Okay, you cannot do everything mentally. Okay, that's why you should understand these steps very well. Next, how about B? Now here 4a minus 3 equals 13. Now in the first step, what should I do here?
You have to
Eliminate.
Eliminate it, yeah.
Negative 3 from left hand side first, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is subtracted. How can I eliminate this? By adding 3. So 4a minus 3 plus 3 equals 13. If you add 3 to the left hand side, I should do the same thing to the right hand side. Otherwise, our balance will not remain balanced, right? That's scale. Negative 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. So here we have 4a equals 13 plus 3, it is 16. Now I need to eliminate this 4. It is multiplied, so I should divide 4 times a over 4, too long, equals 16 over 4. The same thing, the same operation, nothing changed. It's multiplied, so 4 cancels each other. Here we have a dot 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 equals 16 over 4. What is it?
4.
Done. So that is the solution of the equation. If you check this, 4 times 4, 16. 16 minus 3, 13. Is 13 equal to 13? Yes. So that is the solution. Okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Good. Now let me change marker color. Let's use blue here. Okay. Now Shahina, here we have 8.3 minus 3x equals 2.6. Okay. What should we do here in the first step?
Have to eliminate it.
Eliminate this 8.3, right?
Yes.
So it is plus here. So I will do like this: 8.3 minus 3x minus 8.3 equals 2.6 minus 8.3. I subtracted the same thing from both sides of the equation. So what is 8.3 minus 8.3?
0.
So these things are gone. It is 0. Now what is left here? Be careful. Here we have minus. So here we have minus 3x equals. What is 2.6 minus 8.3?
That's negative.
This thing is greater, right? It is sign is minus. It is plus. So here we will have minus. Now we have to subtract. It is 2.6, 8.3. So 83 minus 26. What is it? 57. So that is 5.7. Right? You know how to subtract, right? Here we have 8.3 minus 2.6. Here we have 13. 13 minus 6, it is 7. Here we have 7. 7 minus 2, it is 5. Because of the decimal point, here we have decimal point. and this thing is greater, that's why I put here minus. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Good. So now here it is multiplied, right? To eliminate this -3, since it is multiplied, opposite operation of multiplication is division. So minus 3x over minus 3 equals minus 5.7 over -3. The same thing, right? So now it is multiplied here. Already we learned in chapter 1, right? The common factors, they cancel each other, right? What is that here? Dot, dot, dot. Therefore, x equals minus minus, it is plus, right? If you divide negative by negative, it is plus. Here, if you just ignore decimal point, 57 is divided by 3. What is it?
57 divided by 3.
19.
Oh. 19.
Right? Because 60 is divided by 3, it is 20. One less, so it should be 19. So this point is 1.9, because here we have decimal point, right? 5.7. So that's why it is 1.9. Okay? All right. Now, Shahina, tell me, here B, 3 times 2y minus 3 equals 9. What should we do in the first step?
You have to do the parentheses first.
No.
No, we have to eliminate it.
Eliminate, okay, so here we have 3, right? Multiply. How can I eliminate this? Let me just multiply, because if you multiply both sides of the equation by the same number, it does not change the solution of the equation, right? So let me multiply both sides by 1 over 3. What happens here? Here we have 1 over 3 times the whole expression, 3 2y minus 3. And here I should do the same thing to the right hand side, 1 over 3 times 9, right? The same thing here. So what is 1 over 3 times 3?
3. No, 1.
Okay, if it is 1, we don't have to write anything here. So here we have 2y minus 3 equals 1 over 3 times 9.
3.
3. Very good. Now, Shahin, if you notice, eliminating this thing is, if it is added, we can just do the same thing, like take to the right hand side and change the sign, right? The same thing. So I can write it as 2y equals 3 plus 3. Because if to eliminate this one, I should add 3 to both sides. I know that -3 plus 3 is equal to 0. We don't have to write 0 every time, because after all, they will disappear, right? Good. So this 3, if I add to both sides here, I have 3 plus 3. -3 plus 3 is 0. So it's equal to 6. So now, if I multiply both sides by 1 over 2 times 2y equals, here we have 6, 1 over 2 times 6. 1 over 2 times 2, it is y. And 1 over 2 times 6, it is 3.
Oh, I get how to do this.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now a little bit more terms. Here on both sides we have x, not only one side. Okay. A. Now Shahina, actually subtracting or adding something, it means that I can, how can I, for example, let me just write the equation first. For 5x plus 3 equals 3x minus 7, right? So now, to solve the equations, if we have unknowns on both sides of the equation, okay, we need to take all the unknowns to the left-hand side, constants to the right-hand side, okay? When we are doing this, okay, when they change their side, also we have to change their sign. Look here, 5x. I should take this to the left-hand side, right? So it is plus here, so it becomes minus 3x. Here, what is left here? If I just take this to the left-hand side, -7 is left, -7. Now I need to change the side of this 3. It is plus here, take to the right-hand side, it becomes minus 3. Okay? Because if you want to eliminate this 3 from left hand side, I need to subtract 3 from both sides, right? Here I'm subtracting. It will be 0 here. Okay? So 5x minus 3x.
Oh, that's 2x.
Very good. Negative 3 minus 3.
Negative 10.
Very good. Now, that means that 2 times x equals negative 10 means if I multiply both sides by 1 over 2, we will have here minus 10 over 2. Because I'm just dividing both sides by 2, right? Both sides by 2. See, they cancel out each other. So dot, dot, dot. Let me simplify this. Negative 10 is divided by 2 is negative 5. This is the solution of the given equation. That means that if you substitute this value, negative 5, for x in this equation, left-hand side will be equal to right-hand side. That means that this will be a correct sentence. Okay?
Okay.
Shahina, let's do this question, okay? After that, you will have break. 10 minutes. Now, question B. What is the first that we have to do here?
Elaborate.
Simplify, right? Clear the brackets, expand them and simplify first because we have brackets here.
Oh.
Let's do this. You know how to do that. This thing equals, what is it? 5 times x plus 5 times 3, 15, plus 2 times x, 2x, plus 2 times 1, it is 2. On the right hand side, we have nothing to do. 5 minus 4x. Before we continue solving this equation, we need to simplify as much as possible. Now we know how to simplify this algebraic expression, right? From the previous chapter. Here we have like terms, 5x and 2x. They are like terms. 5x plus 2x.
7x.
Very good. 15 plus 2.
17.
So here we have 5 minus 4x. Now 7x, I should take it to the left hand side. It is minus, so it becomes plus. Here we have 5, nothing to do. 17 plus, take to the right hand side, it becomes minus. Right? So 7x plus 4x, 11x equals, what is 5 minus 17?
Hold on. 12, negative 12.
Because here it is plus, it is minus, so we have to subtract. Which one is bigger, 5 or 17? That one is bigger. So we need to put bigger numbers sign here, right? Negative 12. So how can I eliminate this 11 now? We should divide both sides by 11. So this 11, 11 multiply, they cancel each other because it's a common factor. Here we have x equals, how about on the right hand side, minus 12 over 11. That is the solution of the given equation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Shahina, 10-minute break. After 8 minutes, I will send you the link. Okay? Then we'll continue. Next session. Okay, enjoy your break. Okay. Shahina, there's equations. Now we are going to see a lot of different equations. After you practice every equation, you will see that these are very, very easy things, right? But here, just understanding is not enough. Also, you should be able to do these questions fast because timing is really important in life because everything is limited. In given time, can you do the questions? In a short time, can you think fast? That is the most important thing, okay? So to actually have or to be able to solve questions fast, you need to practice. Practice, practice, practice. You will see that after some time, look at the question, immediately you know all the steps go through your mind. Okay, the first step here, I will cross multiply, simplify, remove the brackets, take x's to the left hand side, numbers to the right hand side, and divide by this. We can think all the things in a second, you know. When you look at this, all the things come to your mind. To reach this level, you need to practice. You need to practice different questions. At least the question I gave you, you need to solve 50% of the questions. That means do one, skip one, do one, skip one, okay? Another question. Now, this type of questions, how do you solve this equation? On the left-hand side, how many fractions do we have? Only one, right? Only one fraction here. Algebraic fraction. On the right-hand side, we have only algebraic fraction here. It means that here we have something like this. A over B is equal to C over D. Usually in math, we call this proportion. How can I do that? If you multiply both sides by, let's say, BD, and this one by BD, multiplying by the same thing, B cancels each other, AD equals D cancels each other, BC. That means that it is the same thing as cross multiplying. A times D, here it is. B times C, here it is. Okay? So how can we solve this kind of equations? You need to cross multiply. Okay, one fraction, one fraction. Sometimes now you will see that we have not one fraction, two fractions. Immediately, you have to express this as a single fraction. And we learned this in chapter 1. So using this idea, the first step is cross multiply. So here we have 7. I have here x minus 1. And 3 goes here. Here we have 3, 2x plus 5. Okay? Now remove the brackets, expand this, 7 times x, 7x, 7 times negative 1, negative 7 equals 3 times 2x, 6x, 3 times positive 5 plus 15, right? Take 6x to the left-hand side, 7x. It is changing its side, so it is minus 6x. What is left here? Positive 15. And here we have negative 7, take to the right-hand side, so it becomes plus 7, right? 7x minus 6x, what is it?
Wait, this is addition, right? 7x plus 6x? Or is it minus?
7x minus 6x, what is it?
1x, or x.
X equals 15 plus 7?
8.
15 plus 7.
Oh. 22.
22. That's all. That is the answer. So you can check this. If you substitute here, for example, is the right answer or not? Does it make this a correct sentence? If you substitute here for x, what is x? 22. Here we have 22 minus 1 over, here we have 3. I don't know if it's equal or not. Here we have 2 times 22 plus 5 over 7. If you simplify this, 22 minus 1, 21. 21 over 3, it is 7. Equals 2 times 22.
Oh, 44.
44 plus 5.
49.
49 is divided by 7.
7.
7. So these two things are equal, right? That means that that is a solution then. If you substitute anything else, this thing will never be equal to this thing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Another example. A little different question, but still you'll use the same idea. Let's use green for this question. Now, Shahina, first you have to determine which terms have unknown. Here we have x, here we have x. These are constants, these are constants, right? Okay, so I will take all the terms that has x to the left-hand side, numbers to the right-hand side. When we are doing this, don't forget to change their signs. So here we have 1 and 4 over 5x. Take this to the left-hand side, it is plus here, so it becomes minus 1 over 5x equals, what do we have here? We didn't do anything to this, so it is there, 10, 1 over 5, and this thing is minus, take to the right-hand side, it becomes plus 3 over 5. Okay, Now these are algebraic fractions, if you remember. In the previous chapter, we studied how to simplify this, right? First, bring into the common denominator 1 times 5. 5 plus 4, 9. So this thing is 9x over 5 minus 1 times 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So this thing is 6 times x, that is 6x over 5. On the right hand side, 10 times 5, 50, 50 plus 1, 51 over 5, plus 3 over 5. Now we have the common denominators, right? Let me just write here. 5, 9x minus 6x, it is 3x equals, now also here we have common denominators, 5, 51 plus 3, it is 54. Now if I multiply both sides by 5, right, equals, here we have 5 times 5, multiplying by the same number. These two things cancel each other, right? And also these two things cancel each other. What do we have here? What is left here? 3x. On the right hand side, what is left?
54.
54. Now, something multiplied by x equals 54. Then what is x? X equals 54 is divided by 3. So what is x? 54 is divided by 3 is?
Isn't it? Oh,
18. 3 times 18 is 54. Dot, dot, dot. As you see here, 3 times 18, 54, right? So if you substitute this thing for x here, evaluate the left-hand side here, and substitute 18 for x, evaluate the right-hand side, they will be equal to each other. Okay? So that is a solution of the given equation.
What does the dot 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 mean?
This dot 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 means in math, therefore.
Oh.
Okay. This means that to solve this one, I should do this one and this one and this one and this one. Therefore, the value of x is 18.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that usually we use this when you're writing your final answer, final result.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay.
Let's do this. Shahina, on the left hand side, let's solve these two equations. Here on the left hand side, how many fractions we have?
1.
Only one. That is 8 over 2x minus 3. On the right hand side, how many fractions we have?
None.
How many?
Just a whole number. 0. It's a whole number.
1. Also 4. Can I write 4 as 4 over 1?
Oh, yeah. That goes.
Right? So now we have one fraction. Here we have one fraction. What is next? Cross multiply.
Oh,
so multiply 8 by 1. 1 goes here. 8 times 1, it is just 8. Here we have 4 times multiplied by this. So here we have 2x minus 3, right? Next is we have to expand this. 8 equals 4 times 2x. 8x minus 4 times 3, 12. Or I can just write it as 8x minus 12 equals 8. Right? Just write it to the left-hand side, take the right-hand side. Now 8x, take this to the right-hand side, that is 8 plus 12. Right? 8 plus 12, because it's minus, changing its side, so it must also change its sign. So what is 8x equals 20? From here, x equals, it is multiplied, right? Equals 20 over 8. Sometimes it draws this line, I don't know. So now we can simplify this. 20 is 4 times 5. 8 is 4 times 2, right? So these two things, common factors, cancel each other. 5 over 2. So dots, dots, dots. The solution of this equation is, what is it? 5 over 2. Okay. All right. Let's draw a line. I will use this thing for this equation. How about B? Shahina, tell me, what should I do in the first step here? We have one fraction on the right hand side, right? So we need to cross multiply. So here we have 5 goes here, 5 times x minus 3. Here we have 2 times x plus 4, right? Now we know how to clear the brackets, parentheses here. 5 times x, 5x minus 5 times 3, 15. And 2 times x, 2x plus 2 times 4, 8. Now here we have 5x, take 2x to the left hand side, plus here, so it will be minus 2x. Here we have 8, take this negative 15 to the right hand side, it is plus 15. Simplify, 5x minus 2x,
3x.
3x. 8 plus 15.
23.
23. So now it is multiplied, right? So dot, 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 that x is equal to 23. I should divide by 3 over 3. That is the solution of the given equation. What does it mean? Again, it means that we don't know. It was open sentence. Now we made it closed sentence. We made it a true, correct sentence. Because if you substitute 23 over 3 for x here, evaluate the left-hand side, it will be equal to 2 over 5. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
And also, I will save this, Shahina. I will share this with you. You got my file, right? Chapter 2.
Yeah.
So also you should start. Don't wait to finish chapter 1. Okay, now also do chapter 2, exercise 2A and 2B and 2C. All right, because if you just you try to finish chapter 1 and don't start chapter 2, I don't think it's a good idea. You also keep doing chapter 1 and also now start chapter 2. Okay.
Okay.
So as I say at the top of the paper, I wrote it in 12 days. We have to finish this chapter. That means in 3 or 4 lessons. That much is enough. So try to solve half of the questions in 12 days.
Okay.
Good. All right. The Romans didn't find algebra very challenging because x was always 10. All right, it's a joke. Shahina, let's have a few questions, and after that we will finish our class, okay?
Okay.
Now I will open